What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a little bit of a different video. We're gonna step away from the vlogs for a second and I'm gonna tell you about my homeschool experience. Yes, I was homeschooled. I'm gonna tell you all about it, a little bit of background on my family, why we were homeschooled, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. We're gonna get into all of it. So make sure you stick around, make sure you subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, so I have some notes because I wanna stay on track and I don't wanna forget anything. But I want to start with my family background, just kind of give you the starting point, you know? I am one of 8 kids. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister, and then I have a younger sister and 3 younger brothers. So I am the middle kid, middle child, middle girl. So that's me. My 3 older siblings did attend like normal school. I think it was a private school. My sister only did kindergarten, and then my 2 older brothers, I want to say it was like 3rd grade and 6th grade, I think. I'm not quite sure what grade they were in, but I know they were younger. And then me, I was the first one to be homeschooled all the way through preschool to 12th grade. So I was the guinea pig. So why we were homeschooled. There were a couple different reasons why we were homeschooled that I've been told. But the main reason was because all 8 of us learn very differently. I have to have something explained to me, shown how to do it, and then I can do it. Some people just need to be told, and some people need to be shown. I need to be shown and told. So that's just like one example, but we're each very different in how we learn. So with homeschooling, it was important to my mom to be able to teach us all in a way that we absorbed things the best personally. So there are a few of my siblings, and myself included, I have what they call dyscalculia. It's a lot of people know what dyslexia is, but not a lot of people know what dyscalculia is. It's kind of the same thing. So for me, sometimes numbers will flip, or like a 3 will look like an 8 to me. It was really important and beneficial for me to be homeschooled because I was able to have like a personal tutor, and I just excelled better that way, to have that one-on-one interaction, to be able to absorb what I needed to learn. And she had a bunch of different methods of teaching me things that I was able to learn. So that's just one of the reasons we were homeschooled, was to just be able to cater to each of our learning styles individually, and then to be able to cater to our interests, so that when we were done with school and moved on to college and a career, we could spend more time learning about the topics we were interested in that could be beneficial in the long run towards our like lifetime career. Not to say that we like skipped over subjects, or like I did every subject, but it was just that we could learn like economics in more than one way than just reading it out of a book. We could, my dad could show us how he does his taxes. He showed us how to write out a check. Like, it was very hands-on. And in a traditional school setting, all the students move at like the same pace. So they're all learning the same thing, and you just keep going whether you absorb it or not. With homeschooling, if one of us was struggling with something, we sat on that topic for a week until we figured out a way to learn it and absorb what we need to learn. So it's just more customizable, I guess. And I just want to say one thing throughout this video, like as I'm explaining like both perspectives of traditional school and homeschooling, we're all just doing the best we can, right? So it's not that one is better than the other. It's what works best for the student, in my opinion. So this is just my opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my experience, but I just wanted to... Okay, so I'm just gonna touch on a question I get all the time, is how I made friends being homeschooled, which is so funny to me because it's like I had jobs and everything at like 15 and all that stuff. So it's funny that everyone's like, how do you have a social life? How do you make friends? It's like, I still live in society, and I still like, I just don't go to a building to get an education. So that's kind of funny to me when people ask that, but it's a valid question, so I'll answer it. When you're homeschooled, they have a thing called like a co-op, like a homeschool co-op, and we were part of one, and it was basically just the homeschool families in our area. A lot of different states have it, stuff like that. Would get together and kind of do like field trips, and we did theater and biology. I remember taking biology class, and we just kind of did it in more of like a group setting. So it was called group. We had group once a week, and we would all meet with other homeschool families and learn together. I also did theater through a local high school. So I was in plays, and we did choir through a local church. I was in choir for many years, a long time actually. I really enjoyed that. I did sports. I played soccer and hockey. I played soccer up until high school because I believe the rule was in the high school that you had to be taking like 1 or 2 classes with them in order to be a part of like their extracurricular activities, like all the sports, which I didn't do. So I played soccer up until 8th grade. And then we did dance. I danced for many years. And yeah, I played hockey for 6 years. So definitely had my fair share of like interaction with other kids my age. And I was involved in my church a lot and things like that. So, and I had a lot of friends too that did go to public school that I met through those sports. So I would go to school dances. We had our own like junior senior banquet when we were junior and senior in high school. We had this big banquet where we'd all get dressed up. There'd be a dinner, there'd be like awards. It was a lot of fun. We had like limos. It was at a golf course one year, I remember. So we had our own versions of like dances, and then I'd also go to dances with my friends at public school. So yeah, I've been to several proms, and we were really involved in like church group, youth group, things like that, that I made friends through. And we did a lot of mission trips. So I met a bunch of different kids that way, and adults. One thing I really like about homeschooling too is that you're exposed to a lot of different age ranges. Like you're around adults, you're around little kids, you're around people your age. So it's just, you're having conversations with people that are like pouring into your life and like giving you really good advice. And then you're also doing that for people that are younger than you. So you're exposed to a bunch of different age ranges, which I really like. That's why we were homeschooled, and that's how I made friends. Those are like the 2 main questions I get. And I want to talk about if I enjoyed it or not. That's the question. I feel like I get asked a lot too. Like, did you like that? Did you like being homeschooled? For me, I am an introvert extrovert, so I thrive really well in social situations, and I'm also to myself in a way too. So I liked being homeschooled. The thing that I didn't like was I wasn't able to play sports in high school. I really loved sports. I really loved soccer, and I really loved hockey. I wasn't able to do that in high school. But I did other things. I did, like I said, mission trips, and I did a lot of traveling. I remember growing up, and we went to like Gettysburg. We went to see Abe Lincoln. We went to the Liberty Bell. We did all this like traveling that was very cool because we were able to see like the places that we were learning about in history books. So I just felt like we absorbed more of it because we actually like, went to these places. We traveled a lot as I was younger, actually. And that's another reason my parents enjoyed homeschooling, is because it was so flexible. We were able to go on these field trips and learn different ways than just sitting in a classroom all day. So that was really nice. But I did enjoy being homeschooled. I love my education. I also feel like I don't lack anything when it comes to my education. I don't remember everything, but who does? And I remember being tested a couple times. All of us were. We would go in and we would get evaluated and make sure we are progressing and at the grade level that we needed to be at before we moved on to the next grade. So, or checked on and made sure we were learning what we needed to learn. I liked being homeschooled, and I had a great experience with it. I'm very close to my parents. I'm very close to people of every age range, and yeah, I'm doing all right over here. One thing I do want to talk about, because it's very popular right now, is there is a documentary on Hulu, I believe, and it's about the Duggar family. They're a homeschool family. I'm sure you've heard of them. And it's called Shiny Happy People. And the documentary is about basically just their life and their religion that they're in and their homeschooling experience. And a lot of it is based on their religion, but their religion talks a lot about and encourages homeschooling a lot. And it made the documentary made homeschooling seem like not a good education, and like the kids were not exposed to things that they should have been exposed to and things like that. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it. It's very insightful and it's a little sad, but it's a good documentary. And I noticed not a lot, but a couple similar things that they went through and that they were taught that I was around. I do not, and I was not a part of the religion that they are in, but I was around a couple families that were, and some of my best friends were raised that way. And if I knew now what I know, if I knew then what I knew now, yeah. So we did not believe in that religion, and we were almost like the outcasts of the homeschool group. We were like the bad homeschoolers, which is so funny, because we didn't do the skirts and braids, and we didn't do, we weren't as strict. My parents were strict, but they weren't abusive. They weren't brainwashing us. They weren't manipulative. They made a choice to homeschool us because that's what they felt was best for us kids as individuals and as just a family. But the documentary makes it look very isolating and very strict rule following, which their experience was. Based on the documentary, I wasn't there. But I hope I'm explaining this right. So yeah, I was around people that were raised that way, that believed that religion, and that was not my experience being homeschooled. I had a very different experience being homeschooled than the Duggars did. But I do remember like a couple conferences that they mentioned in the documentary. I do remember those, and I do remember like hearing about Bill Gothard and things like that, like the conferences and things like that. So I remember that, but I was never a part of that religion. And my parents did not have 8 children because of their like religion or because of we were homeschooled. Like that was not part of it. So it's crazy because my family like looks kind of like that, but we weren't like that. Like it's crazy because there's similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. My parents just believed in raising respectful, smart, independent kids that also had boundaries and respected adults and had goals and had faith and morals and just knew what we believed and why we believed what we believed. So I guess if you guys have any more questions about that, you can leave them below and I can answer some of those. But it's a big topic. It's confusing. But I just wanted to share my experience and hopefully I made sense. But I encourage you to watch the documentary, do your own research on homeschooling and the statistics of it. There's a lot of interesting statistics. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always supporting me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.